Breaking news, this just in, musicians have no time. Hey, this is Joe from Home Studio Corner. I posted in my VIP forum a while back asking, hey, what's your biggest frustration right now when it comes to music? And I printed out the results and a lot of good answers here, but I noticed that 22% of the responses said time was a big frustration for them, not having enough time for making music. That has been a constant theme, really, the entire life of Home Studio Corner. For the last 13 years, that's a consistent theme that comes up time and time again with people. And I don't see us getting any less busy. So let's talk about how to flip that switch and find ways to get more time to make our music. Recently, I got into a new piece of software. It's not music related at all. It's incredibly nerdy. It was made originally in the 80s, and it's all text-based, and there's lots of coding involved. Super nerdy stuff. The intent was to have a better place to do a lot of my writing. I do a lot of writing. I like clicky, chunky mechanical keyboards, and I like really simple text editors. And as simple as that sounds, it's hard to find one that is simple and yet powerful and does all the things I need it to do. So I found this software. Unfortunately, it's incredibly complicated, and you have to do a lot of custom coding just to get it to kind of do and be what you want it to do and be. And over Christmas break, I went off the deep end learning this. And what happened was I wasted unbelievable amounts of time learning how to do all these little tweaky things that were, and here's the big word of the day, unnecessary. So one of the themes I see here in these answers was not only that people said they don't have much time, but again and again I would see people saying things like, I just have a hard time getting everything set up and working properly, or I have a hard time learning how to use all these different pieces of software that I bought and all these different pieces of hardware and learning all the different... People are taking on too much. That's the big takeaway. What would be better, so for me as an example with that new software, it would be better if I got it up to the minimum that I needed it to be and then wrote a bunch of stuff. Instead, I spent all this time saying, well, that's cool, but how can I make it the columns narrower? And how can I make it look this certain way? And how can I, it has all these other features for to-do lists and got just so distracted down all these rabbit trails. I can check my email from within this ancient text editor. Let's set that up. And that took forever and was not worth it. And it's for me, at least, it's a little bit of human nature. There's a massive amount of curiosity in me. And I can get very distracted and can go all in on these seemingly crazy little side projects. And I don't want to, it's not that we need to beat ourselves up about all of that, but we need to stop and remind ourselves, what is it I'm trying to accomplish? When I installed this software, what was I trying to accomplish? I wanted to write a lot. I dreamed of writing a lot, maybe writing that book I've been wanting to write for years, writing my print newsletter, writing the emails that go out, there's just a lot of writing that I do. And instead of doing that, I did tweaking with the thing that does the writing. Can you relate to that? Maybe not specifically to the writing software, but can you relate to tweaking your setup in your studio versus working on music? Can you relate to getting a new mixing plugin and messing with it a lot, but not actually making music? Can you relate to getting a new guitar pedal and dialing in the perfect guitar tone, but not making any music? I don't say this so that you can go shame yourself into forcing yourself to make music. That's not the point. The point is, if making music is the thing that you really want to do, it's the reason that you got all of this stuff, then let's switch the focus and let's just learn the bare minimum to get things done. There's a terminology, I can't remember, it's something like just-in-time production or something like that, or just-in-time learning, where you learn just enough to get the thing done that you need to get done, and when you need to learn something else to do the next step or whatever, you learn it at that time. What a lot of us try to do is learn everything up front and then do the work. Well, two problems with that. A, it takes forever, and B, it doesn't even work, right? I can't learn mastering from a book only and then dive in and expect to be good at mastering. I maybe have some head knowledge, but now I have to put in a bunch of repetitions of doing the work. So what a lot of people do is they flip it around. They wait until they know everything, till everything's nicely in order, then they jump in and start doing the work. It's the opposite. Some of the most successful audio engineers, producers, musicians that I know here in Nashville don't know a whole lot about this. There's a good chance you know more about recording software and all of that than they do, but they're making the great music. So that tells us that maybe we don't need to know things as deeply as we know them. There's nothing wrong with knowing those things, but if all you're doing is working on your tools and you never do the thing the tools were made to do, if I got a really fancy hammer, but all I ever did was polish it and like engrave the handle and figure out the perfect way to hang it on a pegboard, but I never actually hammered a nail and built anything, I'm kind of missing the point, right? And that's what I'm seeing here. A lot of people are frustrated because they don't have enough time, and I think it's because they're expecting to spend all that time learning, and not doing. I think there's a happy medium of both. One thing I've said over the years is if you watch one of my videos for 20 minutes, then go make music for 20 minutes or more. If you watch an hour of my content, go spend 2 hours making videos, applying what you learned, and that way, when you come back here, you know a little bit more, not just head knowledge, but like working, you had your hands dirty doing the thing that we were talking about. So whatever I teach you next is going to make a whole lot more sense because you did it versus just consuming content and then hoping to one day make some music. I hope this is one of those videos that I don't expect is going to go out and have thousands and thousands of views, but I hope if only a handful of people, if just one person hears this and says, you know what, he's right, that's me. All right, I'm going to shake things up and go make some music, then it will have been worth it. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about this video. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? I'd like to hear it either way. And if you haven't subscribed to my email newsletter, I've got all kinds of good information like what we talked about today, plus all kinds of other stuff. You can get that for free by signing up to my 5-step mix guide. That might be a good exercise. Go to 5stepmix.com, download the guide, read it, and then go apply what you learned like today. That's my challenge to you. All right, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.